Welcome to another episode of Mission Compliance, Unleashing Growth Potential for Defense Contractors. In today's episode, we continue down the road of understanding CMMC, its regulations, and controls. Up next, we start yet another control family. This is Control Family 7, and we're starting with a quick one, but that doesn't mean it's not important. Up next is MA.L2-3.7.1, Perform Maintenance on Organizational Systems. We'll break down what this control means, why it matters, and how it impacts your organization's cybersecurity posture. We'll also provide practical insights and strategies for achieving compliance and securing your systems effectively. So whether you're a defense contractor aiming to win more contracts or simply someone interested in bolstering your cybersecurity knowledge, you're in the right place. Don't stop believing. We're joined once again today by Mike Frater, president of On-Call Compliance Solutions and a CMMC professional assessor. Thanks for joining us, Mike.
Hey, always a pleasure, Roman.
And in Journey's famous song "Don't Stop Believing," do you know they don't get to "Don't Stop Believing" for like a minute and a half, at least,
I
maybe
actually
two
know that
minutes
song.
into the song? It's crazy.
I was gonna say, or that they've had a replacement lead singer for the majority of their success.
That's true. But also Adam Lambert has been singing with Queen for like 15 years, so it happens.
Has he
Um,
really?
yeah.
Wow, that's
Ever
sad.
since he came in second on American Idol, they were like, "Oh, will you be our new lead man?" And then they started touring again and
I
stuff like
didn't
that.
real. I did not know that. Now I know about the John Mayer and the Grateful Dead thing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Anyway, today we're talking about 3.7.1, and this is all about maintenance and that kind of thing. This is a short control, only one control point, so this will be a quick one. But let's jump into it. So, why is this control important?
Well, it's I'll tell you, maintenance is an incredibly important part of keeping a system up, but also an important part in keeping it secure. So it's kind of interesting, the assessment objective is very I think the wording is very small, right? It's determine if system maintenance is performed. You're right, there's not a lot to it. I think it'll be we'll see if it's a short episode. Sometimes I get to string these things out because there's some real meat there, but obviously you've got to do maintenance on your IT systems. But what is it that an assessor is really looking for there? They're looking to prove that you've got some mechanism for doing this. And a lot of this is going to really come down to a combination of, do you have policies that talk about system maintenance? And if you have those policies, are you executing and can you prove that you're executing what is required in those policies? And so that's what this one's all about. It's about making sure you're doing your system maintenance. So two ways to do system maintenance. You can do it automatically or you can do it with patches. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You can do it automatically or you can do it manually. It is perfectly acceptable to manually patch a system in NIST SP 800-171 as long as how you're manually patching it does have documentation stating how that should be done. And so I think that's a very, very valuable thing to understand about how this rolls out. Again, um, I don't think NIST could really determine how some of these things get done, like patching, but they certainly can dictate the idea that they need to be done. Yeah, and when it comes to system maintenance, we're talking about, things like patch management, firmware updates, all those things that I think are very, very important. They need to be done. And so, yeah, that's to sum up, that's really the basics of the control is being able to show that you're doing it in a policy and being able to show that you're doing it via probably showing some management consoles for evidence, right? Where we can see the last time an update was performed. Those are going to be the things that get you through this. And well, while we're at it, we'll talk a little bit about the idea of family 371, which is maintenance. The first one's obviously, do you do maintenance, right? If you don't, then you're going to fail. I think it's safe to say most companies are doing maintenance on other things. But then as it dives deeper in through 3.7 controls, it's really diving deeper and deeper into how do we do this maintenance, and those things are going to come up in future episodes. So again, 3.7, it seems simple at first, and we do get a little bit of easy points hopefully on 3.7.1, but no worries, stay tuned for future episodes because there will be a lot more to this control.
What are the key assessment points, or should I say assessment point, than an assessor would be looking for on 3.7.1.
Yeah, so again, the assessment point, which there's only one, is determine if system maintenance is performed. Seems really straightforward, but the assessors are going to do a deep dive on this. They're going to want to understand the company's mentality through documentation. They're going to want to understand, are they really doing what is necessary to keep the system updated within vendor recommendations? So again, I think that a lot of 3.7.1 you'll be showing screens for when was the last, antivirus engine or, critical threat list updated, things like that. When was that software updated? But then they could also ask for examples of hardware. When was the last time the hardware was updated? There's a lot of things they can ask for. You just have to give a reasonable demonstration of that.
Absolutely. So this is pretty straightforward. It's just like, hey, perform the maintenance. Are there any potential difficulties here?
That's an interesting question. Are there potential difficulties? I would say I don't think that there are, except in situations where you have an enclave. Again, different companies do this differently. We're obviously a global managed IT services company specializing in defense and managed technology for defense. So we have a lot of automated systems that come into play. I think one thing people have to remember when they are scoping for CMMC is you must remember to include your maintenance systems in your total inventory, your CUI, not your CUI assets, but your security assets. I will share with you, we made that mistake. We did not scope in a system that was providing updates, and they called that out and said, "Well, wait a minute, you're not scoping in a system that can modify settings on a system that stores, processes, or transmits CUI. So your scope is incorrect, and we're gonna basically fail you on a whole slew of controls because of this." Which was very disappointing because our security was fine. It just we didn't have everything scoped in correctly. So I would definitely watch out that the scoping of these systems in as security protection assets that are performing that automated maintenance. You've got to have that in the scope of what you're doing. And if you fail to do that, it could really be it could fail you for a lot of controls. And again, we have firsthand experience in that. Now, fortunately, we've come back and we've passed and fixed that, and we actually switched from doing it via automated systems to doing it manually. So we decided to just switch that over to being a manual process ourselves. But again, we would have just had to include the update system within our scope, and it would have been fine. So that's again performing maintenance on organizational systems. Again, I think that's probably one of the and of course I guess you could just do this weird thing where you just don't update your systems, but I don't really know who does that. Again, most vendors are providing automatic updates. Don't just keep hitting the ignore button. Take some time to do the update within a reasonable time frame. I think those are kind of the only fail points.
All right, yeah, yeah, that brings us to we're 122 episodes deep now. We always like to end with a silly question because this compliance stuff can be a little bit dry. So since we're talking about maintenance, this one, and hang with me here, this is kind of long-winded. This one is about maintenance. So it says if your company's maintenance schedule was a person, would it be the responsible adult with a checklist, the intern with a wrench and a YouTube tutorial, or the mysterious IT ghost who only shows up at 2 a.m. and leaves cables everywhere?
So if you're talking about how we manage our clients, I would tell you that we are the IT ghost that shows up at 2 in the morning and does your maintenance for you so that your users can stay productive during the day. I think that's one of the best parts about on-call is not only do we provide only compliant solutions, but we figured out how to do that in such a way that doesn't interfere with user productivity for the most part. But I think the average person would probably be, what was your first option there?
Uh, the responsible
Responsible
adult with the
adult.
checklist, the intern with the YouTube tutorial, or the ghost.
Yeah, so I think the responsible adult with the checklist is probably the right answer for most people, who are doing IT management, and I think that's a very safe place to be. It'll get you through your assessment. We know we love our checklist here at OnCall. So yeah, again, OnCall's got their specialized way of doing it because with thousands and thousands of endpoints and servers that we maintain and manage, we have to use precautions. We have to do these things late at night, and there's a lot that goes on with your technology, and the important thing is that what goes on, and doesn't interrupt productivity for your team, we consider that to be a very, very important thing. So, yeah, great question on that one. That's an interesting one.
And hey, look, if you happen to be that intern that relies on the YouTube tutorial to get you through it, good news is On Call has a lot of those. We have a lot of those YouTube videos that are designed specifically to help people like you that need to help and need to be walked through some of these more complicated things. So if you happen to be that intern relying on the YouTube tutorial, that is what On Call is good at.
Yeah, 100%. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, or it's been a while, check out youtube.com/@oncallcompliance.
Hundreds and hundreds of videos on topics just like this. It is hosted by the guy you see on the screen right now, not me, the other guy, that can help walk you through this. But and that wraps up another great episode of Mission Compliance. We hope our discussion today has provided you with valuable insights, practical strategies, and inspiration to navigate the ever-evolving world of defense. We'd like to thank Mike for joining us, however briefly, and talking about the single control point that is 3.7.1, which centers around maintenance. Thanks, Mike.
Always a pleasure, Roman.
But the conversation doesn't end here. We encourage you to continue exploring these topics and connect with us via our social media channels. Share your thoughts, ask questions, and engage with fellow listeners using the hashtag Mission Compliance Podcast. And if they haven't already, what should they do, Mike?
Well, they should like, subscribe, and definitely tell a friend. As a matter of fact, the next time you listen to the podcast, bring a friend from the defense industry and turn them on to a little bit of free and helpful advice on how they too can comply with DFARS, NIST, and CMMC.
That's right. Hit that like, subscribe, or follow button on your favorite podcast platform so you always know when new episodes like this one are released. And we'd really appreciate it if you could take a moment to rate and review the show. Your feedback helps us to continue to bring you thought-provoking episodes and high-quality content. Join us next time as we delve further into the dynamic world of defense, security, and industry innovation. Until then, take care, stay informed, and make compliance your mission. See you next time.
Thanks, everybody.